Hey guys, it's Jackie again. In this video, I'm gonna tell you my personal story of how I became a vegan, and at the end, I will tell you my personal reasons why I chose the vegan lifestyle. So, I always loved animals very much. We had a dog in the past, and our parents always taught us to treat animals well. Our family had many guinea pigs in the past, and I love to draw pictures, and I always asked my mom to draw a horse for me so that I could do the coloring afterwards. I remember when I was little and I was eating meat that I often asked my dad, Daddy, isn't this an animal? And he always told me, Jacqueline, don't worry about it. The animal was sick. And of course, I was 7 or 8 years old, I believed him. Then someday my sister started to be a pescatarian. That means you don't eat any meat, but you eat fish. Which I now realize is super stupid because fish, of course, are also animals, and there's no difference between, I don't know, a pig and a fish for me now. But in the past, she just decided to not eat meat anymore from pigs and cows, for example. And of course, I also started to be a pescatarian because when you are young and you have an older sister, everything your older sister does is always really cool. I also remember drawing a picture with all kinds of meat on it, for example, ham, salami, bacon, and stuff like that, and I crossed it out with a red pen and hung it next to my door so that I remembered not to eat those things. And yeah, I was 14, so yeah. So my sister and I, we stopped eating meat, and I think it took me almost 1 year to stop craving meat, but after that it was totally fine for me, and it got super normal. Then a few years later, I think it was, or a lot later, it was I think about 2009 or 2010, I got in touch with a girl. She was in my class, and she was a vegan. And I remember talking to my friends about her, and I said, oh my god, she's crazy. Why do people do that? It's so unnatural, it's not healthy. Look at her, she's pale, and yeah, I didn't know anything about being vegan at that time. In 2014, 10 years after I started being pescatarian, I began to start being vegan. And here again, I followed my sister because she started being vegan before I did. First, I still didn't understand why people turned vegan. I remember telling my friend that I would never start being vegan. But then I talked to my sister a lot, and she told me her reasons, and of course I was already interested in protecting the environment and protecting animals, and therefore I of course was listening to her, and I was trying to understand her reasons for being vegan. And then I started reading more about it, and I remember the moment I started to read, everything I read made sense for me. While I was reading about veganism, everything really made sense, and I became more and more convinced that this nutrition is the way to go. And that's when I started being vegan too. I realized that the animal husbandry is as bad as the meat industry. If you take the milk industry, for example, usually cows can become 15 to 20 years old, but in the milk industry, they only reach an age of 4 or 5 years. The milk cows are really used as milk machines, and at some point their milk production decreases, and then they get slaughtered. Another point is that In order for the cow to give milk, the cow needs to have a baby, a calf. After the calf is born, the calf gets taken away from the mother. I know that in the past I knew that, but I never realized that this also causes so much pain for the mother. She gets her baby, and the baby gets taken away from her, and this is so horrible. I can't believe that I'm just realizing that now. The milk industry is only an example of the whole animal husbandry and yeah, how horrible it is. There are always exceptions, but 99% of all meat we eat worldwide is coming from factory farming. The animal husbandry has a huge impact on the climate problems. The most shocking information I read regarding the climate was that the animal husbandry causes more carbon dioxide than the whole transport sector. This is unbelievable. Then we have worldwide hunger. The animals we eat need food. This food is mostly grown in poor countries. People who are suffering from hunger walk by fields where we grow food for our animals. How crazy is this? Of course, we cannot stop the increasing world population by not eating meat anymore. I'm not saying that not eating meat or animal products is the key to everything. But how paradoxical is it that we can feed 60 billion animals worldwide and still 800 million people are suffering from hunger? Isn't this bizarre? Many people say veganism is not healthy, or they ask me, where do you get your protein? And I don't think veganism is very healthy. But in fact, you can get everything you need from plants. Eating a lot of animal products is not good for your body. Animal products contain animal fat, and this can cause, for example, a high cholesterol level. As I said before, you can get everything in plants. There's only one exception, and this exception is vitamin B12. The funny thing about B12 is that many people think that animals produce B12 and therefore you need to eat animals, but this is not true at all. B12 is produced by microorganisms, and in the past you could find B12 in soil, on vegetables, or on fruit. Due to our monocultures, B12 doesn't appear in that way anymore. This is why we need to supplement B12 to the animals of the factory farms. This is why especially vegans should supplement or need to supplement B12. I also heard that meat eaters and vegetarians can suffer from a B12 defect, so I think it's always a good idea to go to the doctor so that he can check if you have any defects. If you want to turn vegan, I recommend that you start reading about it. What does your body need and which food contains what. Also, you do not need to start being vegan 100%. It took me almost a year of research and trying out different things and just informing myself about it. Don't pressure yourself, you should still have fun, but I can speak for myself that I've never felt better before. I really can say that I'm not hurting anyone with what I eat. If you want to start step by step like I did, I suggest that you, for example, start with one vegan dish per week, or that you buy yourself a vegan cookbook, or just, I don't know, just do it step by step and it's going to be easier for you, and give yourself the time you need. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe. Bye guys!